Maybe not. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. We are live though. We back, y'all.
We're back.
We are back. So I don't know if Stu is coming, but I guess he knows what's up, so he'll be back if he can.
Yeah, I told him. I was like, you sent the email and something had happened. And he said he was gonna meet us over here. So
okay.
I don't know what happened.
All right. It's only one person in here right now. I'm not sure who that is. But I'll
Stu?
Yeah, I wanna get Slade and Norn and everybody come back, but I don't know how to like tell them we're back. Yeah, Stu ain't answering. I don't know. Second time that shit happened.
Is it a power thing?
No, it's something wrong with my PC where it just reboots. It just reboots. Everything shuts off, and it just boots back up. It's really fast, but if we're in the middle of a show or something, it just cuts me off. And the last time when that happened, I think Stu knows. Oh, what's going on with this thing?
Welcome back.
There he is.
Reno, what the
The goddamn reboot, man.
Check your power source when you get, when we get off.
Yeah, no, I did. It's not the power source. That's why I mean that's
fans
the same
working?
shit that happened the other day. Yeah, the fans are good.
Fans working. Power source is good.
Yeah, it's not overheating. I checked the temperature, but I don't know. It's telling me to update some drivers and shit, so maybe that's what it is.
I could. Well, yeah. Then that's definitely that can do it.
That's one of the possibilities. So I don't know who made it back. What were you saying?
Nah, because if it's not hardware, it's definitely software.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I'm kind of just waiting to see if anybody makes it back here. It says we have one watching, but I don't know who it is. If you're watching us right now, say something in the chat. Maybe nobody is there. I don't know. Maybe it's one of us triggering it. I figured that the people watching would just get the notification that we're back.
And come back. Yeah, they'll see it.
I started a whole new live.
They might jump.
Yeah, they'll see it.
They'll see it.
Slade put in the thing what the heck happened, but I wasn't sure what he was referring to at the time. I was like, what's going on? And then he meant the thing. I was like, wait, what?
Today I was in Walmart, and guess what I found? Dinobot sludge.
Who?
I was Dinobot sludge.
Oh.
Because you got Slag, Sludge, Snarl, Swoop, and Grimlock.
I was trying to remember which one he is.
Sludge is the Brontosaurus with the long neck.
Okay. Yeah.
And he was $55. I was like, oh no. I'll wait for Sludge to go on sale on Big Bad Toy Store. So I came home, I tagged it in my Google feed, and when a price drop comes, I will definitely get a notification. I will definitely be clicking on there and buying Sludge at a discounted price. But I will not spend $55 Sludge. But the box was beautiful. The figure was beautiful, but I just don't think it was worth it. It's a master series, so they usually charge a little more for those.
Yeah, it's those are the ones like Transformers and shit. I don't know. I never got into the Dinobots and all of that stuff.
Dinobots are dope. Dinobots super dope.
I remember watching it though as a kid. I remember the show. And I remember the Dinobots.
Dinobots is dope, man.
I did have some Dinobots. I think I did have the T-Rex, something like that.
I have Grimlock. That's the only one I have thus far.
Yeah.
But I want the rest. I want the other 4. But like I said, it's been hard to find them because they haven't bought them out. And so far they got Snarl and Sludge right now. And Snarl is like $75. I'm like, why is he so much higher than Slag? And Slag is bigger. And Snarl is like $75, man. I'm like, damn. So
maybe you got more intricate parts.
I don't know, man. He's just big. I mean, when I was a kid, I had the 3. I never had all 5. I never had Snarl and Swoop, but I had Slag, Sludge, and Grimlock. I had those 3.
Yeah, I
But I
did.
never had Snarl and
I
Swoop.
remember the. Yeah, that's right. It was 5 of them Dinobots. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
coming
because
back.
remember
They
they
were
came
like
out with the
gray and
first 3.
yellow.
Yeah, they were gray. First 3 that they created,
Yeah.
and then they went rogue or something like that, and then they created 2 more. Because when they transform, they're armored. You can't. There's nothing you can do to them when they're in Dino mode. They're indestructible. So you have to kind of trick them into turning into robot form, and then you can damage them. But you can't damage them while they're in their
Whether
Dinobot. Yeah,
dinosaurs.
when they're Dinobot. Yeah, because one time there was an episode where Megatron, they were fighting the Dinobots, and they knew they couldn't beat them. So the Decepticons played dead, and then the Dinobots transformed into robot mode. Megatron's all right, they're vulnerable, get them. They shot them up. So but $55. I was like, damn, $55.
That's steep.
Bruh, that is steep, man. I was like, never mind. I was like, I'm gonna wait for him to go on sale, man. I waited a couple months to pick him up. If not, I don't see ones. No, I'm not gonna do it because they have a legacy kickback. I saw it today. I was gonna get it, but I do have a kickback. It's not a legacy one, but I do have a kickback. And that's one of the Decepticon.
The Decepticons. Trying to figure out who is. Well, I don't know who are the 2 people in here. I know if it was Slade. Yeah, it's 3 now. Yeah, maybe they're finding. So Slade, if you're here, Noir Rad, if you're here, Lito's Way, Corey Adger, say something in the chat so we know you're back. The reason I want to know if YouTube sent this right away to the people that were watching, or if all these people are new. I guess they're new. It's not none of the people
because it would have came. Yeah, because it would have came from my device and it didn't come up.
Yeah, I mean YouTube. Sometimes they suck with sending out notifications. Especially if you don't have the bell or whatever. Oh, they just suck with that sometimes.
That's true. Now that we have you here, Sada, I'd like to ask you a question. Do you think the Scarecrow could ever get the best of Batman?
Ooh, that's a good question. Maybe. I don't know. That's a hard question. I feel like if you call him as Bruce Wayne, I feel like you could get him. I don't know once he gets in the suit. I feel like he's dealt with him too many times. I feel like he won't be caught off guard as much if he gets him as Bruce Wayne. So
now, do you think he could ever construct an intricate plan that is diabolical enough to have him unmask himself from Batman and Bruce Wayne?
I think if he really spent some time with it, yes, he could. I think he could. Definitely. Yeah.
He's a crafty dude.
Yeah, he perfected that serum or the what is it called?
He's a psychologist, right?
What's that called? The fear gas? Fear toxin. Yeah, fear toxin. He perfects that.
Yeah.
Really works on it. Yeah, he can get him to do whatever he wants. So yeah.
Yeah, because we were talking about Arkham Knight, and we were talking about how at the end of the game, Scarecrow actually gets Batman to reveal his identity as
to the
Bruce
world.
Wayne, and
yeah,
for
not
the world to see.
To the world, not just to him, right? Didn't he broadcast that shit? Yeah,
he broadcasted it live. Yeah, and some people were saying, we were having a discussion at work, and some people were saying that they don't think that's realistic because they were like, Batman would never let the Scarecrow, like he would have, like Batman always has a contingency plan for everything, and he's always prepared. even when he's not prepared, he's still prepared, and he anticipates things. So they were saying that he would have like a stand-in or something, like, because like in the old TV show, even though you could tell it really was Batman, he had Alfred dress up as Batman, and then him show up as Bruce Wayne at the same time to fool people into thinking that Batman and Bruce Wayne were not the same person when somebody almost figured it out. But you could tell it wasn't Bruce Wayne. I mean, you could tell it wasn't the real Batman because
it's
skinnier.
Never the real Batman. Never.
Right.
Never.
I still can't believe how much they wasted on Titans.
Oh God, yeah. Poor Titans.
Oh, the TV show?
Yeah.
What, the TV show Titans?
Uh-huh.
Sorry, you were like a fan of that show, huh? You was like,
I still am, but
Titans,
it's I still am, but like it's just been so disappointing. So hopefully this 4th season will be better. I'll just keep hoping that until the show ends, I guess. So
nah, you had high hopes for Titans. You always was on. You like, look, like Titans.
I still am, because season 4 looks, it looks good. Looks like it could be better.
I have never watched that show.
It's okay. You're not missing a lot. Trust me.
I've never watched
the live action Titans.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think I saw the first few episodes, and I liked it. It was pretty good. Yeah. I thought
Titans is still going. They're coming up on their 4th season now. I think they're going to end with 5 seasons, but their 4th season is coming out in November. Yeah, so pretty soon, and we still have nothing on it. But
yeah. I can't believe it. That's crazy.
Yeah, a lot of people cannot believe it. But season 3 was received pretty well by critics for whatever reason, because I think narratively it was one of the worst. But that's beyond the point. So, yeah, I think that helped.
I just found out that Marvel is introducing a new MODOK. You know, MODOK.
Yeah, MODOK with a C. What's the difference? And the exclamation point. What is the damn difference?
Let's find out.
Made me mad when I seen that, Reno. I was upset.
Oh no.
I was like, come on, man. Damn.
MODOK with a C.
Air it out.
And an exclamation point. I was like, come on, dope.
You got an exclamation too?
I would love to hang that.
The exclamation point wasn't real. That wasn't really part of his. Okay. So, what does he got? Yeah, no. The exclamation point was just an exclamation point. It was not part of his name, but it's Captain America, Sentinel of Liberty, number 8, and mental organism designed only for control. That's what the C means.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, all right. So what did the K mean? Like,
well, yeah. Wait, what did the K mean? Actually,
yeah, because when you MODOK is an abbreviation because there's MODOCK.
Oh, only for killing. Only for killing. The K, killing.
Yeah, mental organism designed only for killing. And then this one's mental organism designed only for control. So Captain America, Sentinel of Liberty, number 8. You have promises to turn Captain America's world upside down yet again as the mystery of the Outer Circle continues to be unraveled. The ongoing saga will see him separated from his allies at a time when he could certainly use their help, as the Outer Circle will be unleashing its very own mental organism designed for control. And Captain America Sentinel Liberty number 8 is also set to help kick off Captain America Cold War event that's coming in 2023. So the event will be a crossover between Sentinel of Liberty and Captain America: Symbol of Truth. And Marvel has promised to release more information about the event, including, what role the Winter Soldier will have to play in it during the New York Comic-Con this Thursday. So we will definitely have the update on that. The premise for the book says Captain America's allies find themselves scattered across the country with no recollection of how they got there. So Steve calls in a favor with the one person he knows can help, mutant telepath Emma Frost. But what Emma finds chills Steve Rogers to the bone, and as Steve and his allies race to save city under siege by AIM, the Outer Circle's ultimate assassin is revealed, introducing MODOK with C. And then Captain America: Sentinel of Liberty has so far seen Captain America delve into a twisted conspiracy with ties to the origin of the iconic shield that you always see him carrying and the symbol that adorns it. After uncovering the Outer Circle, which is a shadowy organization which secretly manipulates world events to their own whims, basically an Illuminati type deal, but not the Marvel Illuminati, the actual Illuminati. Never mind. Steve Rogers has been faced with adamantium strong assassins and revelations about his own closest allies' pasts. And then George Tarleton, aka MODOK, the original dude, first appeared in 1967 in Tales of Suspense, number 94, in the story If This Be MODOK by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby. And as part one of AIM's many maniacal experiments, Tarleton was transformed into the mental organism designed only for killing, a super genius villain with violent tendencies. Although MODOK has yet to make his debut in the MCU, the character was voiced by Patton Oswalt when they did the Hulu show. They did a cartoon, a MODOK cartoon. And then Oswalt also made his MCU debut alongside Harry Styles, Eros, as Pip the Troll in 2021's Eternals. Yeah, that's about it. January 4th, 2023, you can get Captain America: Sentinel of Liberty number 8. So
in January?
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to get that. I like Captain America books because normally when they do a Captain America run, it's Cap doesn't really have a monthly book. They usually just do runs, but sometimes they just drag it out. That's the only thing I hate. They do drag, but a lot of times they're good. Yeah, a lot of times they're good, but they just drag it out. You're like, oh, come on, man.
Sada's right about. I know. Yeah, we're past that.
Slade is biased. Slade is biased.
I know, but no.
What did he say?
Past. He said that she's right about network. We're all right about network because we're all
right about the network.
We're all saying the same thing pretty much.
Slade off the chain, man. But yeah, but like I said, Batman's got a good run. We'll talk about it Saturday on DC Power Hour because I do have some Batman stuff. There's some Batman comics I'm definitely picking up come November, end of this month, November, especially December and January. It's not like regular. Like one of the other ones I've been reading is One Bad Night. I've been collecting because they're doing all of his villains. I have the Riddler one. I think Mr. Freeze is next. They're gonna do Killer Croc. They're gonna do Clayface, Catwoman, and I think Man Bat. But it's like each one of his most deadliest villains get a Batman One Bad Night story.
Yeah,
I haven't read it yet.
Yeah.
But when I do, oh man, I can't wait. I just haven't had the time to read it, but I'm gonna get to it real soon.
Yeah,
I think I have 2 of them.
It was one of them I had too. I think I had 2 of them too. Damn. What were they?
I know I had the Riddler one. I forget the other one. Riddler and I think Two-Face. I think I got Riddler and Two-Face.
Two-Face, yeah.
Slade off the I want to see what he said. I know he said something. He said some off the more shit.
No, he just said Sada was right about the net worth thing.
Oh yeah, man, because Slade, Slade be off the wall. Slade is one of our most loyal followers, but
he's a sixth elemental. He is a
he is a sixth. Yeah, he's an elemental.
He's
So
our.
now let's move on with the show.
he's our Wade Wilson. He's our Wade Wilson. Got to snipe fools. This was
Which one do you have?
I can't. I don't even know. I can't find. I don't want to. I'll dig through it later. But I couldn't find it. With the reboot of the X-Men cartoon that I've been like fiending for 30 years. Yes. Continual comic book tributes and ongoing love from fans who grew up with the show X-Men the animated series seems to be as popular as ever now, and 30 years removed from its debut, it might be difficult today to appreciate exactly what made the series so unique, but certainly the main aspect was its fidelity to the source material. It's we always talk about it all the time. Them never sticking to the source material for movies and shows, but that's the one thing that this cartoon did that made it so great, is you could literally go, oh, I saw that in the comic book, or if you didn't like to read comics, you can get the same stories that your friends were talking about that read comics by watching the show. You could cheat and pretend you read the comic book. It was great. Showrunner Eric Lewald has discussed in recent years, like the crew's determination to present a true interpretation of the X-Men at the time was the hottest property in comics, period. And visually, the X-Men of this era were totally Jim Lee. I mean, like, that's just when you think of X-Men from that era. It wasn't even when Jim Lee, even when Jim Lee was done drawing it, all the three artists that picked it up after him kept that same style and almost looked just like his same art style. And drawing inspiration from his style would seem to be a natural choice for the show. The issue with the awkward timing, I think, of the X-Men's development, the show was entering production as Jim Lee was departing Marvel to become one of the co-founders of Image at the time. Remember Image? A company comprised of all the top Marvel artists, basically, right? It was Todd McFarlane and Jim Lee and all those guys that worked at Marvel. They went and did their own thing, and instantly a house of ideas, major competition. A few years back, Eric Lewald's book previously on X-Men revealed that Marvel actually had issues with the series relying on Jim Lee's designs. Animator and producer Will Mugino said, "My goal at that point was to do something as close to the contemporary comics as possible. So we started with Jim Lee's designs, among many available, but we had this side trip of them because shortly after we started, after I had gotten the initial designs of Wolverine, Cyclops, Jean approved, suddenly I got a note from Marvel saying, you have to put away all the Jim Lee reference. We can't do a show that looks like his stuff." They wouldn't say why, but of course the problem turned out to be that Jim Lee and the other major Marvel guys had announced that they were leaving to found Image Comics. End quote. So Maginot later explained how he subverted this edict by turning a young, funny Hanna-Barbera series of designs for Marvel to approve. Basically, shit that didn't look like the comics. As he suspected, Marvel turned him down. And Marvel's hesitation about using Jim Lee's work didn't really last long. The series continued on in what is now known as the 90s style for the majority of its lengthy run. But now it's different times, man. So debuting only a few weeks after or before X-Men in the fall of 1992, we had Batman, the animated series, which was just as fucking great, an instant critical favorite, and a bold reinvention for action cartoons on television, because since like the 80s, we had kind of lost that. And while X-Men's heavily rendered comics loyal look was continuing a tradition that began in the previous decade with Sunbow's G.I. Joe and shit like that. You know, specifically designed to resemble the comic book. And Batman took an entirely different path. Their show's lead designer, Bruce Timm, spent time on G.I. Joe in the 1980s and had become convinced that the detail-heavy designs translated poorly to television animation, partially due to overseas animators who lacked the budget and time to do the look justice. Basically, they wanted to outsource it to, you know, animators who might not have much, you know, as much detail. And as Tim told Vulture back in 2017, he said, I had worked on a bunch of action adventure shows for TV before, and every single one of them I thought was over designed. They were trying to impress people with the amount of detail. On G.I. Joe especially, it wasn't enough to just draw a belt on a character. The belt had to have seams and buttons and snaps and pockets, and there's no good reason to draw every shoelace on a shoe. Just make a simple shape. The look was so different, Bruce Timm recalls how the network reacted to the initial Batman test footage. He said, we did get a lot of pushback from different people, even people who had seen the pilot and were very impressed by that. They would say, oh, you're going to make the show look more detailed, you know, and look more like a comic book, right? And they were like, no, it's going to look like this. This works, and we know this is going to work. So if you guys notice, and I always thought this too, like Bruce Timm and the Bat and the DC stuff, I always noticed it was very basic, very void of like detail when I compared it to G.I. Joe and the cartoons like from the 80s and stuff, or even, you know, but when you compare it to some anime, it's spot on. And like, you know, just, you know, animation, I guess as an animator, it's a lot easier to not draw every shoelace on a shoe, of course, and it makes it much quicker and easier to turn out, you know, episodes. But I think that if you take your time and do it right and put the detail in, I think it looks fucking amazing. So I kind of did feel like it was a little bit lacking in that department. X-Men. Batman was perfect because it was like this throwback to what I remember the old silent Superman cartoons looking like the, you know what I mean? And it had like this sort of 1940s feel to it. And that's where it took place. It had like this sort of 1940s sort of vibe, the cars and everything. So it just really fit Batman perfectly. X-Men is more of like a futuristic thing. And so that in that respect, it kind of lacked a little bit, but in Bruce Timm's new style, which is a direct response to 1980s action cartoons, and changed the landscape of mainstream cartooning and influenced the look of animation for 10 years. And yet, X-Men the Animated Series remained a hit and was very much not in the Timm style. And while the model sheets on X-Men look truly nice, so well drawn and rendered they could have appeared in the comics, many episodes suffered from animation studios either unwilling or unable to do them justice. So like when you see X-Men, the drawings look great, but the actual animation of them is horrible. And that's
from what, X-Men?
Yeah.
It is. It always was. It is.
Yeah.
I can't lie and say it wasn't.
No.
It was a good show, but the
great show.
Animation it looked like it was drawn by a 12-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a great show.
It reminds me of a coloring book.
Yeah, thank you.
The
it
weren't bad, but when you animated them is when it looked bad. The movement is what looked bad.
Yeah, it was real basic, man. Because Bruce Timm's style always impressed me because I had never seen.
It's simple. It's very simplistic.
They're blocky. The characters are real blocky.
Yeah.
And but it works for what they're doing.
Yeah.
And that's why I never you know, I've always liked it. And even now they'll still do the cartoons like that. You know, but just with a little more, they're still blocky, but they'll round them off a little more and they'll make them look a little more animated, but they're still good.
Yeah.
I mean, that style stands out.
Yeah, absolutely. And previously on X-Men, Eric Lewald, discusses the continued popularity of X-Men in the 1990s and the Fox network's last-minute habit of ordering additional episodes every time the show's production was supposed to end. And then he's referring to the final batch as the afterthought season, which was really a bad season. It kind of sucked. It seemed like a different show. It was created after the crew had assumed X-Men was actually over, and they kind of were like, no, come back and do another one. And they were like, okay. And then in this final season, a decision was made to update the look of the show and create something more animation friendly. And then so with toying with the look, the animators at one point drew inspiration from the latest issues of the Uncanny X-Men comic, which bore little, if any, resemblance to Jim Lee's look. And the fans went nuts. The streak of superstar artists emerging from the monthly Uncanny X-Men comic didn't stop with Jim Lee. Within 2 years of his departure, Joe Madureira had taken over the title with a style that veered far from Lee's stoic, idealized human anatomy while embracing the wilds of sort of Japanese anime. And the anime elements, like artists like Michael Golden and Arthur Adams had previously brought some anime elements into their work, but it was Madureira who embraced the look and sort of found a way to meld the Eastern and the Western, sensibilities and the American superhero comic all together. And because it's the American style is different than the Japanese style, and that's sort of where it started to blend. Because we notice now you see a lot of American cartoons almost anime like, like Teen Titans. The original Teen Titans had a very anime style to it.
It did, yeah.
And amazingly, yeah, it was beautiful. I mean, and that was what's so cool about it. But they were talking about doing that with this one, with the X-Men. And amazingly, Madureira's first Marvel work was published in the anthology series Marvel Comics Presents in 1991 when he was only 16 years old. So he was already published as a young kid. And after penciling the first Deadpool miniseries in 93, when he was 18, he became the new Uncanny X-Men penciler in 94 when he was just 19, before he had ever, before his 20th birthday. And then after revamping the look of the title, redesigning the X-Men, and sort of inspiring a new wave of imitators, Marvel even asked Madureira to redesign the Avengers for a 1995 relaunch of the line, which ended up getting cut short when Marvel's new management cut deal with two of the Image founders to return to Marvel. And then one of those creators happened to be Jim Lee. And when Madureira left the Uncanny X-Men, he was the most popular artist in comics and the father of a cartoony, playful style of superhero art that is still heavily what we see in comics now. So like he changed the game, and it's still, I can pull any new comic book that came out recently, and you'll see that same almost anime kind of style mixed with the American style that he sort of created. And a 2002 issue of Wizard magazine, which was the once true guide to comics, would name Madureira one of the 10 most influential comic artists of all time. So he really did change the game. Let me see if I can get you guys a picture of. I'll get you one in a second. But okay, now it'll work. When the early promotion for the final X-Men, oh shit. Sorry, give me a second. It's tweaking on me. Okay. Sorry, y'all.
Did you just say it was fat?
I did not notice. I'm just.
Well, this is
news to me. Yeah. So when the early promotion for X-Men, for the final X-Men animated series came out, rumors circulated, that the series would be adopting an anime style look, inspired by the new style in comics, and what eventually aired on the fall of 1997, however, wouldn't be confused with Joe Madeira's comic style at all. This was trash. Look at this. That is not. That's what we got, but that's not what we were supposed to get. That's not Joe. That's not Mad Joe right there. That's something else. But the show's new look was cartoonier, bouncier, and a source of confusion and controversy amongst many of us fans. But clearly not something drawn from the popular Madeira's comics. And the rumors of X-Men ever resembling the Joe Mad look had been forgotten until the release of 2020's X-Men: The Art and Making of the Animated Series book by Eric Lewald, which I highly recommend that you guys check out. The book does an incredible job of like archiving every design from the series, from the background extras to the character revamps, that stuff that was never made public, the concept, everything. And in a section covering the final afterthought episodes, he confirms what the final episodes would have been. Let me get the thing what he said. He said, during the final afterthought season of 11 episodes, the new design team, led by series veterans Frank Squillis and Mark Lewis, came up with a fun idea amid all the cutbacks: a fresh look for the entire cast. Longer, leaner, even more anime influenced, these character models were proposed by our dedicated artists at exactly the wrong time. When budgets were being slashed, the last thing the production supervisors needed was the added expense of redesigning the characters that, in fact, had just severely been simplified to save money. The no was quick and firm. However, thanks to model designer Mark Lewis, this potential new look for the X-Men team has been preserved and is presented here for the first time. So, looking at this, you know what this kind of reminds me of? X-Men, the X-Men Evolution.
Mm-hmm. Similar. Well, it's actually the same designs from the show.
Mm-hmm.
Evolution. I think outside of, well, actually no, I think Rogue is the same too.
Cyclops definitely looks like him. Wolverine's the only one that I think might look a little different, but I think he had longer legs.
Yeah, Wolverine does look different.
But and as it turns out, those early reports were true. The designs from, they look as if they sort of walked off the pages of any Joe Mad Uncanny Comics issue. And the book actually reprints several more of these models, taking quite a few pages and featuring characters that never had appearances in the show, like Mesmero. And then in the upcoming X-Men 97 revamp, what's going to be called, of the X-Men animated series, is going to go with its own look, inspired more by the original designs and borrowing elements from modern cartooning, but perhaps they'll come up with one that fans can see an animated reimagining of this. Like sometimes when they reboot something, it's a little different, but for some reason it's just how you remember it. You kind of know what I'm saying? Like Andor, for instance, that's not how Star Wars was, but as a little kid, that's how I remember it. So I think that I'm hoping that's what we get. I'm hoping we get a style that's new, but it feels like the old. That's what we're hoping.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, we'll see. But that's all I got, guys. You got anything else?
I don't think so. I can't think of anything.
No, that's it. We kind of covered it all. Yeah, we knocked out the purple Wu-Tang. That should be it, man.
We got this Wednesday. We're gonna do Andor and She-Hulk and all that good stuff, and then hopefully, I don't know. Is DJ 42 coming next? Did you talk to him or what?
I texted him, but I didn't get anything back yet. He'll probably hit me tomorrow. So, yeah, right. Maybe he had to work. Maybe I don't. If I did, I spoke to him. He said he would come. He said he was down. So it's just a matter of just making it work. That's all.
Alrighty then. So maybe we'll have a guest next Monday. DJ 42 out of Jersey, I assume.
Oh.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh yeah. All right. So we'll see you guys back here Wednesday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Y'all already know Monday, Wednesday, Saturday, 6:30 p.m. Leave a comment, leave a like, subscribe, tell your friends, all that stuff. Peace.
Peace.